Hello, Podlings.
Hello there.
Hello there. Very fitting for what we're talking about today.
Yes, so the alleged rumor that I've looked up, because I saw some clickbait titles that said that, hey, Kenobi season 2 is happening.
Yeah.
But I looked into a little bit, and it doesn't sound like it's been officially confirmed.
Yeah.
More so just insider details, most likely in development. So
yeah. But that could be anything. That could be like, we're talking about doing something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who knows how far along the production is, etc. All I know is that Ewan McGregor has been like sort of fighting for a season 2 for a while.
Which is kind of interesting.
And maybe because we have mixed thoughts about the whole series, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess we'll get into now. Like, how do we feel about them doing the second one after maybe the first one not quite hitting as much as we thought it would?
Yeah.
I know I was definitely super overhyped watching it.
I think you were so excited. I remember you being so excited and me just being like, I don't think that it's going to be as good as we think, you know? Like, you want so much from it. We love Obi-Wan Kenobi, but like...
Will it meet the hype? And, you know, and we were in such a oversaturated time of like Book of Boba Fett, multiple seasons of Mando, Ahsoka coming out as well. It was like a lot coming out and it wasn't the quality that we're expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's putting it really nicely, I suppose, but a lot of people at the time not quite happy with like the standard of the shows that were coming out.
Well, I think, and I think just that this storyline, I'm not sure, like, I liked it in the sense that, like, it's beautiful. This is something that Disney's doing really well. They have the money and the resources to make just beautiful films.
Right.
And, well, TV series. But then I just feel like a lot of the Disney stuff, which we've talked about and everyone knows, if you're a Star Wars fan, you're across this. It's just very, like, for the money, you know, what can we do? And it's not very much for the craft or the story. And Kenobi kind of felt like that for me, where it was like, there's a lot of filler shit. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff that was totally unnecessary, but then there was also some really cool bits. The bits of seeing him and Darth Vader together again. That's like heart-wrenching. Yeah. You know, some of the Ahsoka stuff, like I like the flashback bits.
Yes.
A lot. And to see some of the stuff, like if they do another series, it'd be kind of cool to see more of that. I guess some of the stuff from like the Clone Wars animated series, some of the stuff between him and Anakin and Ahsoka in live action.
Yes, because seeing the three of them is something we haven't seen in live action.
No.
And if they gotta give us that.
Yes.
At least.
Because like we had gone to watch, I had made a couple of my friends go and watch the 20th anniversary of...
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And they were like, that escalated so quickly. And it's like, it didn't though, but like, you don't see that.
Yeah. That's something we've talked about as well. Like the progression, like the change in his, like him going to the dark side.
Isn't that fast? It's not that fast.
Yeah. And just knowing what happens behind the scenes, you kind of see the movie differently. You kind of like, it makes sense. But as someone that's never really seen or a big fan, it is very...
It's confronting.
It's like
wow.
Oh, he's killing children.
That was like a quick decision, buddy.
Yes, absolutely.
But I would like to see more of that because, like, you actually made me watch the animated series because I was quite against it. But I actually genuinely love like to have Anakin without Ahsoka and to have Anakin without like that huge bits of him and Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
is not as of a full character, you know, to him as a whole. Yeah. Yes. So I don't know. I would like to see that. I want to see it, but also I'm like, do we need it?
Well, that's the thing that's confusing me because like we have the Darth Vader stuff in season 1. So like if we had a season 2 of Kenobi, I don't see...
We don't need to go back into that.
They're not going to have another clash. So I don't think Vader's going to be involved. Yeah. Maybe it'll cut to him like his POV, like, but I don't think they're gonna have any like crossover again. Yes. I definitely know the Ahsoka season 2 is definitely confirmed and in development, and I think it's coming out soon. I'm pretty sure.
That's the only reason why I think that they would do more of that.
Yes,
and I to hype up Ahsoka.
Yeah, 100%. So. Maybe the insider thing is like so convoluted that it actually is just referring to stuff that happens in season 2 of Ahsoka, but that's just speculation. I have no idea. Yeah. But if they did do a season 2, it would just have to be like maybe the Darth Maul stuff. Which, you know, maybe there's some kind of
stuff in Clone Wars that got missed.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there's like honestly, like maybe Commander Cody.
Yeah, I would love that actually.
Shows up, but like it's gonna be tricky to do, I think, because you've kind of shot yourself in the foot with the first season by doing all that stuff. Like that's the thing that kind of annoys me, is that they just had one season. Apparently there were rewrites, but like there was actually a plan different. I think there was originally planned like a trilogy Obi-Wan movies.
This is wild.
So and that had like this completely different, not completely different, but a different story that was, you know, more thought out. But we don't know if season 2 were to happen. I'm just going to be much more reserved this time going into it, I think. Yeah. I'm not going to be like, this is going to be the best show ever. Because I think that's something that we agreed on, that it felt very like in stark contrast to Andor, which is like super high budget, epitome of writing in Star Wars, to something that feels very like it's lacking budget, feels like a fan film at parts, like just didn't feel like the quality that Star Wars has been. So I don't know.
No, I just felt it feels oversaturated, and like we're just kind of cash grabbing for anything Star Wars, because it's got like already an existing fan base, an existing IP, so it'll make money no matter what. We're gonna go watch it, but like totally. It's going to get the streams, but like we're not fucking stoked, okay?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And Disney has stated that they believe, or at least Disney Plus is not going well for them. Yeah. Like their focus is changing to movies. So Ahsoka could be the last series that we actually see of live action stuff. I
actually like in these things, I really, which again it's nice to say after the fact, I really think that they should have just done limited series. Yeah. They should have had like high budget. Yeah. Episodes. That's a great idea. To do like 4 or 5 for Obi-Wan. Yeah. Honestly, Book of Boba Fett, you could have done just dense information stuff for Book of Boba Fett and had it just be, but this like run-on series, like we might get another series. It just kind of gives me the ick, because like you could have told this story. They could have done
it's so much better. Yeah. Because that's something I love on Netflix, is those limited series.
I love those limited series.
Self-contained stories, and then just like, wow, that was incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, so you need hours, but like...
Oh, that's such a
good idea. It would make more sense for them to do this in these fucking... And I love Mandalorian, but I'm like, do we need more? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Now a movie, I loved just... Don't do too much.
I think there's just so much going behind the scenes. Too much money. A lot of money involved, and it's just... It's too corporate. Yeah. It's literally what happened to the Jedi. They became too political. They're not worrying about what actually matters, which is the
Disney is the Senate, okay?
The Emperor. The Emperor. So we'll see how we go. Okay, yeah. But
the hopes are not high.
The hopes are not high.
The rumor can fackle.
Perhaps there will be a new hope, but not at this point. We're in the Empire Strikes Back series. Yeah. Revenge of the Sith series. So, in saying that, Kenobi series, we wanted to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes. For those that don't know, that haven't listened to Podlings when we had all the other episodes, Obi-Wan is my favorite character.
It's your favorite character.
And is he the chosen one?
No, my God.
I just say that to trigger you now, because I don't even believe that.
It's like... I like Obi-Wan. I think he's necessary.
Yes.
I find... him as a whole, he's necessary, but
he's necessary.
Like I'm bored. You know what I mean?
See, that's like how
he's good, and you know he's gonna be good, and he stays good, and he's so good, and I'm like, wow,
because you liked Anakin growing up. Hey,
I liked Anakin.
You're like, he's a sick character. See, I always thought Anakin was a bit like of a whingy fucking loser.
He's like, wow, Obi-Wan Kenobi is just this like pillar of strength.
I love space Jesus.
Praise be.
No, but like I know what you mean, yeah.
Yes, I think I've always liked the conflict and like a little bit of the darker side of things. Like in my adult life, I love Jabba the Hutt. Give me Jabba the Hutt any day. I think his death was inappropriate. He could have died a way cooler way. But as a whole, I think his character's sick. So like someone like Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm like, oh, he's good. Gold star. Congratulations for always knowing the right path, bro.
I know. And I agree.
And it's his favorite character.
I agree with you wholeheartedly for his version in the original trilogy because he is very much that.
Yes.
But I think seeing what he goes through and then seeing that sassy side of him too in the prequels.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's so good.
It's like he has depth. Like this is going to be this whole argument.
He's just sassy. That's it.
That's it.
But I think there's something to say about the fact that he goes through so much shit, loses everyone that he loves to the Empire / dark side, and still somehow manages to be like, kind of. He almost strays a bit in the Kenobi series, which was nice to see. But to see him still come out on top and being this sort of mentor archetype character in the original trilogy for Luke as, this voice of reason, basically the voice of the Force to Luke.
Yes.
Was cool to see. Yeah. I wanted to save this fun fact for the end, to be honest, but I think it's a cool thing to know that George Lucas originally had Obi-Wan as the Yoda character.
Yep.
He originally had him in earlier versions of the script of A New Hope that he would survive against Darth Vader. Darth Vader would beat him. Yeah. But then Obi-Wan would get that door shut between them, and then Luke and Leia and Han would help him on the ship. They'd fly away. He would still be alive, maybe injured, but he would go on to be that Yoda character for the rest of the 2 movies.
But fun fact.
Which is an interesting fun fact. 'Cause do
you know why they didn't do that?
I don't know. Is there a reason why?
Yeah. Why? Alec Guinness said, I will only be Obi-Wan Kenobi if he dies in the first film.
Really?
And so they built the script. He changed it so that he dies in the first film. And then he comes back as the Force Ghost.
That is so funny.
And the Force Ghost also didn't exist. He created this because of this. Because Alec Guinness says, I will be him, but he needs to die.
Yeah, okay.
Because he thought it was what did he say? He has a quote that's saying that it's space sci-fi rubbish or something.
He's so British. It's a very funny, it's like a Parkinson's
he's interview.
Sir
Alec Guinness.
Sir Alec Guinness. He's a very proper, renowned actor, very established. And his direct quote was, I opened the script and found it was science fiction. And I thought, oh crumbs.
Oh crumbs. Oh my God, it's so British.
But then he goes on to say, if you soundbite that, it sounds like he's very negative about it. But he does go on to say, the script was a little ropey, but I had to go on turning the page. So it was a page turner, but he was just not a fan of the writing, which was George Lucas's. He's a very young writer. Yeah. Obviously, he had a lot of help
this
on those
young American
versus
this traditional British dude.
Actor, 100%.
He'd be like, "Oh, America."
Yeah, and he obviously was happy to do it, but had not a lot of people when they were in the production of that first movie, particularly, were just didn't see George's vision.
No, because at the time they were calling it a space opera,
right?
Which to me, I'm whoa, this is gonna be cringe.
And it's an up and coming director doing the most ambitious possible thing ever,
using no famous actors.
Yeah,
it's
all this there's aliens everywhere. There's sets. There's this. There's that. Special effects that they invented for the movie.
Yeah.
Of course they wouldn't be able to see the vision of it.
Yeah.
Except George did, and ended up being what we know and love.
Yes. Yeah.
So Alec Guinness is he's an interesting one because he didn't seem very on board, but I think after the success, I think he maybe probably, thought otherwise.
Yeah.
Which I guess is why he was happy to do the other movies, probably, as a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah. After the fact.
But did you know he wasn't the original actor?
No.
That was
chosen.
Because
I think to run it back, the origins of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
It was always meant to be this Merlin samurai mentor.
Yes.
Obi-Wan was always meant to be that mentor. I didn't know that he was meant to take on for what we see as Yoda too. This which kind of makes sense. This great wizard, what do you call that? A wizard sort of mentor in that hero's journey.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That archetype.
But Obi, do you know what Obi actually stands for? like Obi-Wan, where the name came from.
Is it like a Japanese thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
I feel like you would know this because you're in like martial arts.
I think when you say it, I'll remember.
But Obi is a nod to the Japanese sash worn in martial arts and traditional robes, which is a clear homage to like the samurai robes, which of course the Jedi robes we see are very, very in sort of line with that sort of kimono wrapping samurai robes vibes.
Totally.
So that's like what he knew he wanted. And then he went and tried to find an actor off of that sort of idea. Yes. This like samurai Merlin mentor vibes.
Yes.
And then who was the original warrior monk, my dude?
The original warrior monk. So the original actor that he wanted to get was Toshiro Mifune, a legendary samurai actor who was in, I think he was in Kurosawa movies, like samurai movies, which George Lucas drew massive inspiration from.
What was the original one? The fortress, the forest.
I don't have it here.
The Hidden Fortress.
The Hidden Fortress, yes.
Which is like he based a lot of his stuff on, which we refer back to a lot when we're talking about any of these characters from the original trilogy, because he had so much inspiration.
Yeah.
Off of that film, loved it so much.
Yeah. Like it's always interesting, like the different aspects that he managed to wrangle together.
Yeah.
And I love that samurai aesthetic.
Me too.
And I love that it's applied. It just fits so nicely in a sci-fi sense.
It really does.
But yeah, very, very interesting that, like this Japanese guy that was considered to take that role. I don't know if I actually had the reason why he didn't take it.
I don't actually have that either.
Yeah. I might just give that a quick Google if you stand by with us. So apparently the reason he turned down the role, Toshiro, was he was concerned he was concerned about the film's special effects and how they might cheapen the image of a samurai, given his strong connection to samurai culture. So he was super passionate about samurai. Maybe he thought this could be making fun of their culture and that tradition. So makes sense.
That does make sense. When you, like, if you were to be given that script and this whole idea, I'd been like, no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And even retrospectively, I think he probably still wouldn't have taken it because it is so mainstream and fantastical that makes sense. Makes sense.
It does.
But that's interesting.
I forgot a little fun fact about the Guinness as well, that he influenced what the robes actually looked like. They knew that they wanted robes, but he refused to wear anything silly in some of the costumes. He found very silly. So they
This is Alec
Guinness. So they brought the robes to be a little bit more simplified, and him have just like a cloak and a simple, very simple.
So it's going to be even more
like OTT. He refused to wear anything silly, which I also love because like we talk. I mean, everyone should know, and if does know why like purple lightsabers exist. It's because of Samuel L. Jackson, and it's like I love that the actors also get to have a bit of a role in sort of these films and stuff. It doesn't just happen in Star Wars, it happens in everything, but it's like quite fun to be like the director being like, actually, I like that.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Let's do it. Yeah. It's just, it speaks to a good director.
Yeah. And then creatives, it's like, that doesn't make sense because people get really into their characters,
Oh, yeah. Sorry, just double checking.
That's okay. People get really into their characters and can kind of shape them, and that's what makes a good actor and a good character.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Can't think of any in Star Wars, but I know there's like side characters in other. I think I was listening to something about Loki, Tom Hiddleston playing Loki, and he wasn't really like they weren't really expecting him to play it so well and for it to be received so well by the audiences, where they didn't have like.
It wasn't built out that
planned
much.
for him.
Okay, yeah.
And then because of how he took on the role and performed as him, they're like, sweet, let's write more for him. Sometimes you just don't know. It's like every part of the process of creating something. Yeah. Like you can have an idea of when you draw something and then it comes out different. And then when you apply that to the next part, which is creating the actual practical robes or costume for them, it could turn out different because practically that wouldn't work, but this works better. Yeah. And so on and so forth.
I like it. There's just so many people. There's so many people that make up like a character.
Exactly. Which we talked in depth on the Darth Vader episode.
And it's the same for Obi-Wan Kenobi, which you think is quite simple, Yes. But it's like still there's so many people that had to play and who we get, who we know, who we love. Yeah.
Have you seen that meme that's like, it's completely irrelevant, but how there's like it's like a photo of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the caption is like, it's been 10 years and my mum still hasn't figured out that the picture of Jesus is actually just Obi-Wan Kenobi on it.
Hilarious. And they would know, like, if you didn't know it's like Gregor.
So it's very funny.
That is hilarious.
Like that, okay, well, let's get into the next part, which is, I guess, his design, right?
Yes, his design. Who other than old Ralph McQuarrie would be helping with the designs of the character?
Yes. So you'll see some, if you're watching the video version of the podcast, you'll see some visual representations of some of his artwork, but also another concept artist, Doug Chiang. This is really
very similar.
Interesting. Oh yeah, he obviously tried to mimic Ralph's style exactly because it even has that same lightsaber style.
Yes, it does. That like
sort of sharp, pointy lightsaber. But in these concept artworks, we have, and this ties into a fun fact later, a sort of Obi-Wan character with a top knot, black robes.
Yes. And
a green lightsaber.
Yeah.
And he's the solo Jedi in these images. The first one being in the Phantom Menace when the droidekas roll up. And then the second one is one from Attack of the Clones.
Camino.
Camino. Very same.
And he's hooded in a full black getup.
Yes, yeah. With the green lightsaber in that one too.
Yeah.
Now, I think these were... So they must have worked on the first 2 or 3 at the same time, I think, when they were concepting stuff. Because as we know, Qui-Gon comes into it. Mm-hmm. And he has a green lightsaber.
Yes.
So it seems like this character got split into...
2 people?
Into 2. And we'll circle back, corporate terms, into into a fun fact later on. But very interesting and very cool designs, I think. I want to talk about the sketch by John Mullet.
Okay, yes. Quickly. So sorry. We have to run back to the sketch. It actually looks like something out of like an illuminated manuscript. Do you know, like those medieval things?
Yeah.
Like it just, John Mullet, if you don't know, is a costume designer. He actually won awards for his stuff with Star Wars. But we did talk about him in
our Darth Vader
episode as well.
He's a big part of how he ended up looking, actually.
So very clearly, not entirely the best sketch artist, but this is like what his sketch was for the costumes, and then they sort of based it off of here, like where we went from here. And that sketch is from 1976, so this is like pre-Star Wars.
Yeah, wow. Because
it kind of builds a basis. I mean,
it honestly hasn't really changed much.
No, it's very monk. Like when you think of those like warrior monk vibes, this feels very monk.
It does, and like the practicality of the cloak in that sketch is so like cheap.
Yeah.
Compared to, this is that going back to that creative process, right? Where like that's the sketch and that's the cloak, and it's like they could have made it look like that.
Yeah.
But then it went on to be something a little bit more extravagant with the like kimono sort of vibes.
Yeah, and then they had the slits too, right?
Yes.
Because these are fighting. We're fighting. You can't just have a giant cloak on.
Need to be easily removable.
Yes.
Which they always do before the fights.
I think who we get in Ralph McQuarrie's like just sketch of a dude is sort of who Alec Guinness becomes.
Yes.
You know, like the older, seasoned sort of guy, just sort of
wise
hermit boy. Yeah.
Hermit boy.
Is closer to what we actually get. But these ones are interesting. He's much more like in a fighting style.
Exactly.
He's a bit of a gun.
Yeah, I think
he's giving main character energy. You know what I mean?
He's just aura farming out there.
Yeah, 100%. Oh god. Which is cool. I love to see these illustrations though. There's so much work that goes into them. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they are. Like each piece could just be a
artwork.
Massive print on the wall because it just looks so good. So going into the robes, which inevitably change from these concept designs into what we end up. But who do we have here? Killian Plunkett. Do you know who that is?
Killian Plunkett was the lead character designer for the Clone Wars, which he merged classical Jedi robes with realistic tactical elements to make Obi-Wan the Jedi, the general.
The general,
to bring out this like general vibe in them. The second one is an orthographic sketch, which we had to Google to make sure what that was.
When and I saw like, that, I thought it was like a bit of a sprite sheet, which is like just
again,
a 2D
what is that? Some of us don't work in animation, so like
it's just like the character in their costumes,
different profiles.
Different profiles,
like a 3D visual,
just so you can see what they look like from all sides at a glance, basically. Sprite sheet's a little different because it's actually the frames that a character would use, like in a video game or something. Yeah. But essentially the same thing, just like concept design of them. Yeah, so the Padawan vibes, we have like that established lore of the Padawan braid.
Padawan braid.
And like this is something that I always I don't know why I thought about this so much. Yeah. But like just associating the Padawan with like the short hair and the braid and like the tiny little ponytail at the back. Yeah. Then going into Jedi Mullet stage. Yes. Which we'll talk about more later because it's hilarious. It is hilarious. Going into the Jedi Knight Jedi Mullet. And then the third one, which we don't see Anakin ever get into because that's why he stayed at Mullet stage. Yeah. Never went to Master. But then we go into the third stage of Kenobi having like the more Alec Guinness look. Yes.
Well, that's all because like that Lucas wanted there to be very clear like Jedi hierarchy. Right. He wanted it to be very...
I love that it's done with a mullet.
Me too. It's odd to do hierarchy through hairstyles. Yeah. But I think all of it, he wanted it to be very like they had him be very clean shaven with the short hair and the Padawan braid to the right. You know, they wanted him to feel very like fresh and new and everyone could tell, you know, like
a wee lad.
But then you see later on I think it's in some of like the Jedi Tales or something, you see like Twi'leks, and you see like other species who don't have hair. Yeah. They still have Padawan braids. Yeah. So and in some of the High Republic novels too, because I read like the series, they would have like almost like jewels, like dangly jewels and braided beads and stuff at the same thing, and it would be a Padawan braid essentially.
Yeah, it's like quintessential to
and people would rip it off, you know, or whatever. It's like a insult, cutting off someone's hair.
It's like the Khal Drogo thing from Game of Thrones, right? Yes. Yeah. It's like the longer the braid,
the biggest
the more powerful
insult.
You are. Yeah. But if you can cut it off, you may as well commit seppuku. Yeah. Whatever it's called, where you kill yourself.
You should just die.
Which is another Japanese samurai
thing. It is.
Just
totally.
So Padawan braids and a fun... Yes?
Sorry. I just thought that whole hierarchy thing is part of the thing that had come up in it was that he wanted it to feel very like hierarchy in the sense of like the Catholic Church meets like a dojo.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I actually feel that. Where there's like these weird steps and these weird like robe changes and things.
Yep. I can totally see that. It's just there, crossing east with the west too. Right? Yeah. Japanese.
And somehow it working a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And it works because it's in space, kind of. In space. It's just a fun fact about like obviously most movies, maybe you don't know this, but most movies will occasionally have like reshoots. Maybe they, I don't know, didn't get a reaction right, so they need to do it again. But sometimes the actors don't always have the same hairstyle. So it's funny. You can clearly notice, and I never really like picked it up until I looked at this, but Ewan McGregor clearly has a wig in some of the shots in the Phantom Menace where you'll notice it if you rewatch it now and you're looking for it. But
in the photo you have it's horrendous.
Yeah, it's right at the end where I think it's when maybe Padme reveals who she is, or it's when they're just about to go into the battle. But he was talking about Ewan McGregor how wigs are fine unless it's a really short-haired wig. Yeah. Because with the long-haired wig, you can just cover up and kind of blend it in, hide stuff. But with short, like, you have hair already, and then you're putting short hair on top. It just like
it's so weird.
Screws with your head a little bit.
I don't like really it. Actually, like seeing all of them together. It's like it's yuck.
Oh, it's very funny.
It looks so not good, and the hairline too is very strange.
Anyway, that's quite funny.
That is funny.
But yes, we can go back to then we go to Attack of the Clones where we have Jedi Mullet.
Jedi Mullet.
And
a beard. He's got a beard now. He's not so fresh.
Yeah, he's a bit more rugged and he's a bit more, sassy in this one. He's a bit more confident with his abilities. He's a master now. He's got the brotherly sort of chemistry with Anakin. They play off each other. It's fun.
He's getting into, like, this also space was, like, to get into that more, like, Jesus-like character. Yeah. He's, like,
that might be the exact Jesus photo that
I think it is. I can see him in a little robe, like, holding, like, the Sacred Heart on one of those, like, Catholic candles.
And a halo above his head as well. Yeah.
Fully. And the whole vibe was meant to be a little bit more weathered than what we previously see, and also to be a little bit more, like, nomadic.
Yeah, and just an interesting comparison. His look in the Kenobi series is almost like this as well. So it's almost like he's reverted
back into this rugged,
like,
wild,
state.
But rough, yeah.
It's definitely different. It's definitely a different vibe in that show, but just an interesting comparison.
And I think that this is the Obi-Wan Kenobi that you like, right? This is the.
Well, it's like that.
Well, I love him in all of his stages.
I kind of like. I think my favorite's probably Revenge of the Sith, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like that, and I guess how he sort of is in the Clone Wars, like the series.
Yeah.
Which is more so after the mullet stage. Because I actually know when he becomes master, but I'm assuming it's in the series. I should know that. Why don't I know that? I'm going to quickly Google that. It's in the Clone Wars series. It basically, when Anakin becomes a Jedi Knight,
Obi-Wan becomes a
pretty
master.
much the same time Obi-Wan becomes a master, and that's when he's like, I need to start taking care of my hair. Or maybe he did that. Yeah. And that's why they made him master.
They said, wow, he's like, man, really coming in.
It's all Anakin needed to do. He just couldn't be told.
Fucking cut your hair. Grow a beard, dog.
That's why he turned to the dark side. People making fun of him.
Then we get him in
Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith, where...
And then he has this beautiful combed hair, combed to the side, and then his beard is very sharp.
Very nicely put together.
Yes.
Beard goals right there.
Like, I just imagine him, because he's so good, you know what I mean? I bet he has this, like, hectic routine.
It's like everything's super precise.
He has 2 spoons, you know? Like, it's very, like, opposite of my entire life. Like, he's just very organized. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's all put together. Nothing's ever out of place or out of line, and he's always prepared.
Yes.
That's the way Obi-Wan comes across to me.
Yeah, he does seem very, like, OCD, but not OCD, more so in the sense of how a monk does everything perfectly.
And it's very...
A Japanese, like...
Yes.
You know, everything's...
It's very simplified.
Yep.
You only have what you need.
Yep.
No more.
Minimalism, but, like, very precise.
Yeah.
Everything has a purpose. I could totally see that, and that's where it ties into, like, the wisdom of his character as well. Like... Yeah. He's not as wild as Mullet Man.
No, he like grew up.
Yes.
Really, yeah. One thing about this though, which is funny, is when the beard gets really sharp. So one of the things in the animated series that Dave Filoni really wanted to make sure that existed in the character design in the animated series was in Clone Wars, was that his beard was very sharp, very symmetrical, very perfect. And the whole point was to sort of have that symbolism of like how good he was. And it's like this like symmetrical, perfect, everything's aligned. Yeah. It's very like sharp edges.
Yeah.
And it's to show like his goodness.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
And that was like Dave Filoni's one thing, is he was like, it needs to be clean cut, perfect. Yeah. Because he is clean cut and perfect. Yeah. You know?
Just makes sense.
He is 100% good.
Yes.
There's not a hair out of line, you know? And it's like, I feel that. I feel that about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's so true. And that's why it's an interesting... It was kind of unexpected when it hit to the Kenobi series, right? When he went into that more rugged, almost looks like sweaty haired, like... Greasy haired, sorry. Yeah. Like, just let himself go a little bit. Like, he's just doesn't care anymore. He's mourning. He's grieving. He's
lost his way.
He's lost his way, you know? Like, yeah.
Which you kind of see in that Kenobi series a little bit, you know? You see him struggle a bit. You see the lack of purpose maybe too. little depresso Obi-Wan. Which also is, it would be strange to see someone in Tatooine be so, especially a hermit in the sand, to be very like, you'd be like, okay.
Be like, who is
that guy's a
guy?
spy. Yeah. Someone look out for that dude. What is he doing here?
Let's go beat him up. You think you're so cool with your hair?
Fucking nice hair. Everyone else is all windblown and chafed.
Trisha Biggar or Bigger?
Trisha Biggar, who we will do an episode about because she does the costumes, a lot of the costumes in the prequels, not all of them, there was an entire team. But she does the Jedi robes specifically for Obi-Wan and Anakin in the prequels, and she had to find this sort of balance of what we get, of Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan.
Right.
How do we get from him back to this young, Jedi master, I guess, in this stage when he's with Anakin? It's like, how do you have this juxtaposition of these two characters? And so while Anakin was made to be the Dark Knight, he wears very dark colors, dark brown and blacks. He wears leather. That Obi-Wan is like the stark opposite to that. He wears very light colors. It's very cream, light browns. And he wears like linen and cotton, which is like quite funny because you're doing this whole storytelling, which we know in the way that they act. Because you're saying like Anakin's very like whiny and bitchy and just like
he's
whatever.
A bad boy. Like he's leather
and
jacket.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's just trying to like peacefully guide him around.
Yes.
It's like you have this also in the texture of their clothes. The colors of their clothes, crazy? Which is crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And it's like, we know that, like you see it, but I think people tend to focus on Anakin's vibe because it's like Anakin's the main character.
Right.
So it's like, you're like, oh, he's wearing leather. He's not like the other Jedi, but it's like also stark comparison to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who he's always on screen with,
Yeah. They're like
his mentor.
Almost,
It's kind of cool to see that. But Trisha Biggar did that, and she made sure she was very particular about the texture of the fabrics, which is cool. The color of the fabric. She did that part of Obi-Wan Kenobi in like juxtaposition with
very cool
Anakin.
Yeah. In the Kenobi series, we had someone different. We had, I'm so sorry if I'm saying this name wrong, but Sutirat Lalab. Who was the costume designer in the Kenobi series. And here we have, as we were just saying, more rugged.
This is very nomadic.
And very nomadic, very practical, like for Tatooine. But also, instead of the cream color robes underneath, we have like almost a navy blue.
Yeah, honestly, when you see his originals and then this, it's a little darker. You know? It's a little darker to his OG vibes.
100%. And I think it's to really depict that like the loss, the grief that he's going through, because he's believed he not only has he lost everything, but like his brother, his friend, his brother, blah blah blah. He's a very sad boy. So blue is sad.
He is blue. Do you know why we say that? You're feeling blue? I found out the reason it has nothing to do with Star Wars is that ships, when they lost a captain, would fly a blue flag to show that they're mourning their like loss of their captain or their
Oh really?
Yeah, and that's why we say we're feeling blue.
Feeling blue. Oh yeah, makes sense.
Blue He's lost his captain.
He's just and yes, of course, every Jedi has their lightsaber, and Brad Elliott was the guy that was the prop master in the prequels. And there's a cool clip of Ewan McGregor, like there's like a tray of all these lightsabers, just modeled different hilts, and he gets to choose the one that he wants, and it's the Phantom Menace, so he can kind of choose whatever he wants. Like he's gonna lose it at some point. I think he's told by George, is like, oh, you can pick whatever you want because you're gonna lose it.
You're losing it because you're an idiot.
You choose the one that we see, and very weird fact I think is that he loses it in Phantom Menace, and I just assumed he somehow got it back in the second one, because in the second one he's the exact same hilt.
I never thought about it.
Isn't that funny?
Like, just like he has a lightsaber.
I'm like,
oh, there's a lightsaber.
He must have found it, and I created this whole lore in my head.
In your head,
went down the pit and like,
and
found it. But
he could have.
He could have
goes to the trash planet.
Or somehow he just created the exact same one. Yeah, so Brad Elliott not only makes like the lightsabers, but he also does like a lot of the gadgets and stuff that they have like in their utility belt. And,
that's cool.
And the macro binoculars is what they're called. Or yeah, the macro binoculars. Yeah, the ones that when he looks through and they have like the cool sci-fi shit going on. But yes, so that would be a really cool job to have.
I know, doing the lightsabers, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And lightsabers are so unique. So simple and so unique, but like also so personal. I think and that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And imagine how many people in the world have those hilts that he's designed.
Yes, and they had...
How many do you have?
So many.
He's like, I have every one.
Not enough. It's funny because like when they're Ewan McGregor like behind the scenes stuff, like how many props they would go through, especially Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, because they were like the best at sparring.
Yes. It's like some of my favorite videos is watching this.
They're so satisfying to watch, which was another big reason why it was so exciting to see them back together in the Kenobi series.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're just so good.
Yeah.
But like how many they broke.
Yeah.
Just from, because they would have had to learn hundreds of scenes, like hundreds of moves, and oh my God. And
practicing all the time, hours a day.
Oh my God. Yeah. Incredible. And so in the, just fun facts on top of that, I think they had like, similar to the originals, they had like sparring sticks, and then the light was added in post, which is why we don't have like a lot of the light reflecting of stuff. Yeah, they're really skinny, and they make like quite a loud clack sort of noise. And then in the Kenobi series, they really utilized the LED lightsabers that they could spar with, because in the scenes, especially at the end when we have like Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen, when he's got the helmet cut open, we have like a lot of blue, and then goes into red, and really cool to see that. To talk about like lightsabers, because this is their fucking thing. This should be an extension of your person. Obi-Wan, for being so good, how come you have 3 lightsabers? How come you had to build 3 different lightsabers? And I'm pretty sure it's funny because he's lost 2, right? And Anakin has that moment in Attack of the Clones where he's like, Obi-Wan's going to kill me when he loses his lightsaber. But it's like, bro's lost some lightsabers
he's lost heaps. Yeah, that's why he's getting mad. He's like, please, you cannot lose another one.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's embarrassing.
It shows badly on me.
Could you imagine having to go to like Yoda and be like, oh, fucking lost my lightsaber, bro.
Idiot you are. For fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake.
Or fuck for sake. So I just wanted to quickly go back into the Jedi mullet quickly, which I always found it so funny when people photoshopped the photo of Obi-Wan or Anakin with the hair from their Lego character on their face. It's so funny.
It is so funny.
Yeah, there's like good ones when it's between like the Clone Wars as well, like the Clone Wars look of a character, and then they're photoshopped in real life to look like, and it's just this monstrosity of an image. But there's this little tiny video here where they're getting their hair done behind the scenes for Revenge of the Sith. And Ewan McGregor's getting his nice hair together, and he leans over and he sees Hayden Christensen's mullet coming together. He's like, oh, is he going to get a Jedi mullet? Excellent. He's very happy that his Padawan's getting a Jedi mullet.
Oh, he's leveling up. Nice.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, actually, that's a good note that I have written on the laptop there, is the Bee Gees / 70s, 80s vibes. Because obviously all the haircuts in the original are very, like, they're not the most timeless.
No.
Like...
No.
No.
No, sir.
Like Luke's hairstyle. That didn't age well. And interesting that they... Even though the prequels are very, like, futuristic, they still kind of went with some older, like, 80s, 70s sort of vibe haircuts.
That's true.
Just sort of tying in, I guess.
Wispy mullet.
Almost like Bob's. Like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Jedi mullets, they're ahead of their time. I mean, Australia got onto that, like, 30 years later, but... Well, we always had mullets, to be fair, actually. But for some reason, recently, it's become a massive thing. mullets for some reason.
Oh, they're back. They're fucking deeply back.
I know it's like part of our culture, like with, you know, sports and stuff, but I also think Theo Von has a massive impact on that too. The Rat King.
Rat King. I think that bringing back like this like trash, I think it's become very popular is to just like, I actually think a lot of things have become popular, which is kind of nice that everyone can sort of be whoever the fuck they want to be. You know what I mean?
Instead
like,
of it being like one style,
it's just not like everyone's wearing this, everyone's doing this. It's like, oh, this is cool, but this is also cool. And like this whole Rat King thing is like, 100% get you some pit vipers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can wear tiny little rugby shorts.
Yep.
No one cares. You got a mullet. Let's go.
It's
and
like,
the mullets are all different.
Vibe.
There's a fuck ton of different mullets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are. Yeah. Jedi Mullet is one of many.
One of many. I don't know what that rant had to do with anything.
It's just the style of people, man. That is actually a good point because, like, like around that time would have been like 80s. Like, is that Beatles time?
What?
Like
80s?
80s or 70s. Like 70s had a vibe. Yeah. 80s had a vibe.
Yes.
Whereas now it's like, how do you can't say 2020s
but
vibe. Because it's like, there's so much.
What would it be? We're all sort of mimicking old vibes.
That's what I mean.
Like, I've always, like, the way that I dress and stuff, like, in high school I wore Chucks and stuff, and my dad thought that was so funny.
Oh, yeah,
He thought me wearing Chucks in high school was so funny because he wore Chucks in high school.
Right, but
I was like, Dad, I need these. These like new shoes. And he was just like, no fucking way are y'all wearing Chucks. Like, and I didn't know that it's a thing, but like this too, like my mom had a mullet in the 80s.
Really?
My mother had a mullet. Wow. Full on mullet, and it was like, and this is a thing again. Like we're just sort of regurgitating styles.
Yeah. See, sometimes it just takes like it's just something that's good that just brings it back into style.
But you know how and it depends on who it is.
Yeah, like if
someone... like I find joy in other people's joy, and I think most people do. Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody
hate other people's joy.
Also, people do that too.
The Grinch.
That like you saying that Theo Von is authentically Theo. You know what I mean? And people fuck with it, and it's like, but then people are also like, I like that. I'm kind of like that. Whatever.
I'm gonna get a mullet. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I totally agree.
Is that when people are super authentic? Yeah, you fuck with it.
Goddamn mullets, man.
Again, I don't know what we're talking about right now.
This
has nothing to do with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Rambling about mullets.
Actually, Theo Von.
This is one fun fact before the other fun facts. But so there's this really funny interview because we don't really know too much of like Obi-Wan's origins. Apart from, I'm sure there's stuff in comics, but ultimately we know everything about Anakin. We know barely anything about where Obi-Wan comes from, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like and you don't. Like a lot of the Jedi at that time, like they were just taken from families because if they were Force sensitive, they would just recruited when they were young.
We're taking you to Coruscant. We're going to train.
Yeah, that's special.
From your mid-rim family.
Stealing your child. Yeah.
Legit. It's honestly human trafficking.
It really is, but guised as like they're special.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up, but they do have power, so it's kind of justified.
Question mark?
So there was an interview with George Lucas, and he was being interviewed by Jon Stewart. And Jon Stewart, they were talking about, Obi-Wan and stuff like.
And Jon Stewart does all of the props and stuff. He does he does Yoda's prop, right? Jon Stewart did didn't he do like the puppets and the?
I think I'm thinking of the Jon Stewart that like had the talk show.
Oh, so sorry.
You're thinking of someone that has like almost the same name?
Oh, nope.
What's his name?
Nope. Frank Oz. Nope.
Oh. Well.
Super close. Let's not get confused.
Whoops. Okay.
Okay, go on with your story. Stu John.
So George Lucas was being interviewed by
Jon Stewart.
And I guess they got onto the topic of Star Wars, and obviously George Lucas hasn't really done anything else. But they were talking about Obi-Wan's origins, and they're like, so like, yeah, where does he come from and stuff? And and George Lucas just, his sense of humor seems to be like quite dry because he was like, he did it without like a smile or anything. He's just like, oh, he's from the planet Stu John. And obviously Jon Stewart picked up on it immediately. Was like, it's canon now.
Yeah.
So Obi-Wan, according to Wikipedia, is the planet located in the Stujon system. It had an atmosphere that allowed humans to breathe oxygen comfortably. Stujon was the homeworld of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and his family, though he was taken from the planet at a young age for training to become a Jedi.
Hell yeah.
There was no picture of Stujon because it doesn't actually exist. But
I just remember reading, I don't know if it was Legends or not, but of his, because we had talked about like Qui-Gon Jinn and how he comes about. And I remember reading this thing about how Obi-Wan Kenobi was actually really old. He was like quite old when they found him for like to actually take in for training. And they kept saying like, he's actually too old to bring on as a Padawan. Yeah. Because he's going to be too difficult to train. But, and this is something that actually made me like him this is why I remember it, is because it made him have a little bit more depth in the struggle in the beginning, that he was actually quite aggressive. And
he actually wasn't very good.
And wild.
Right? He didn't have any talent.
And Qui-Gon was like, homie, he didn't really want to. He was like this fucking rambunctious. It felt very similar to like what we know as Anakin is this like rambunctious fucking little shithead, and that's how it felt with him, that he was kind of aggressive, wild, a little too old, and Qui-Gon was like, nah. And Qui-Gon at the time had already lost a previous Padawan.
Yeah. Wasn't keen to
get another one, and then eventually got Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, but I remember that about his like one of his little origin stories.
And I remember when we were talking about that, like he wasn't very talented or anything. He was just that's
like dedicated.
Yeah, he was dedicated. Like that's why he ended up being so good, is because he just worked at every aspect.
Yeah, he worked really hard.
Whereas Anakin was just
so much
talent,
skill,
and like just naturally gifted, and like I guess that's why Obi-Wan was probably a good candidate to take him on, because not only he probably reminded of himself,
teach him the work ethic and everything else.
Yeah, like he could be like
to hone the craft.
Even though you're talented.
I think that would have been a good idea, but we have said previously too, what if Qui-Gon had taken on?
Oh my god,
because Qui-Gon
that is the question.
Didn't completely agree with the Jedi Council all the time, and sometimes he would do things without asking, and he blurred the lines a little bit, and I think we had said it previously that's what Anakin may have needed.
100%.
Instead of having someone that's like, no, Anakin, no, we don't do that. Jedi don't do that. Jedi don't believe that. No. Whereas like Qui-Gon was a little bit more flexible.
Yes. He was like more in line with the Force, whereas the Jedi were like, these are the rules.
These are the rules. And Obi-Wan was like, rules. This is nice. I like rules.
Which eventually he grows out of, right? Like, yeah. And becomes more Qui-Gon, which leads us into our final point, if you wouldn't mind going to the last slide, is the dramatic twist that was... it. Oh, really?
Yeah. I can just get up.
I
accidentally scooted up.
Yeah, we're good. And that leads us... Oh, wait, you sit down, actually. And that leads us into our final point. Going into this last bit, we have the dramatic twist that was originally intended for Obi-Wan's character at the end of the Phantom Menace. In the original scripts, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, imagine those two characters in the movie.
Yep.
But their names are switched. Mm-hmm. So imagine Obi-Wan is the master. Yep. And Qui-Gon Jinn is the Padawan. Yep. And at the very end, the twist was going to be that Obi-Wan... Sorry, now I'm confused. The dying Obi-Wan would be like, you have to train the boy, all that stuff. Yes. But then Qui-Gon Jinn would then take on Obi-Wan's name.
Oh,
and it would be
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, it would be this big twist. And I think the reason they didn't do it was just to make it easier to consume as a movie, less confusion, I guess. But I think that's kind of interesting. Hey, like he takes on his master's name. Yeah. Because of how much he means to him, and very interesting. And that's why those concept art pictures that we were looking at the start, Black Rose with the green lightsaber at the top knot, because this character was meant to be like that, a little bit more Qui-Gon, rather than Obi-Wan, but then it's So I thought that was really interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
it would have been confusing. And I even think of like the Jedi Council when someone was like, well, Obi-Wan, and it's like, well, which one? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people watching
Obi-Wan, Obi-2.
And I think people watching that were like fans of the original would probably see the likeness of Ewan McGregor and be like, isn't that Obi-Wan? And then you'd see the twist and it just wouldn't really...
Yes.
You wouldn't be like, whoa. You'd just be like, oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, you would have walked up and been like, stupid. But if you watch it in like chronological order, it would be more of a
It'd be like, whoa. Yeah. Which is probably where George Lucas was coming from when writing that. But it's like the little throwaway, like, oh, when Obi-Wan Kenobi meets Anakin for the first time in that ship and he's a kid, it's like,
this old guy.
Qui-Gon, like it. Yeah. I think ultimately what we have is better, but I thought that was a nice little fun, neat twist.
An idea.
Fun fact.
Yeah, they could have done with something else, but yeah.
So I think that kind of covers everything on Obi-Wan.
Covers Mr. Obi-Wan's design. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan. Hello, Dex. So if there's going to be a season 2 of Obi-Wan, like, I think at this point you probably agree, like, if they're going to make it, I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. You're getting a stream, my dude. But am I gonna be happy about it? I'm not sure.
We'll see.
Like,
again,
I think for me, if I wanted to see it, more flashbacks, yes. But I also think that like you could have done his own. You could have done his own thing. Stay out of this stuff with the whatever. You could have gone and done his origin story as a limited series.
Yeah, I think
not what you've done.
Again, they've shot themselves in the foot by already doing a season that kind of didn't hit.
Yeah.
And then by doing it's like it's just like that sequel trilogy thing where you've done it. Oh shit, how do we make more but make it good? Whereas Andor, I think we've talked about that in the last episode where Disney are hopefully coming out of this realizing if you put budget, care, and actually respect the artistry of creation, then
storytelling.
It's storytelling, which is all that matters at the end of the day. Like, if it's bad storytelling, it's going to be just visual effects on a screen.
Yeah.
So hopefully they've learned from Andor and they go, sweet, let's apply that to Obi-Wan. Really make sure it's good. Really make sure it's,
Yeah.
But it depends on the showrunners. Depends on, like, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm just not going to get too hyped like I did in the first season.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I got very, very hyped.
Very excited and then very let down.
But we hope you didn't get let down from this episode. So thanks for listening, Podlings. We hope you learned a thing or two. If there's something we've missed, obviously reach out, slide into those DMs at Podlingspodcast.
Yes.
And then until then, see you next time.
May the Force be with you.
Bye there.